Are forge gold prices too high? In this video I'll be discussing the pros and cons of forge gold products and their prices. Hello everyone and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel Spelfrämjande Fellowship, SGF. My name is Andreas Norwegian Viking and this is a new type video, a discussion video where I take a slightly controversial topic and give my opinions, and you are free to drop your comments in the comments below. Maybe I'll make this a weekly thing where I'll do a topic and I'll also answer your comments and thoughts from the previous video. So we'll see where this takes us. But I have been thinking a lot about the prices of forge gold models today. So the reasons for this is that forge gold are having their new releases listed on the forge gold websites on Fridays. And this Friday, no different at all, they released a new batch of miniatures for Middle Earth. And this time it is the Ironhill Goat Riders, the Ironhill Dwarves with spears, as well as the Ruined Watchtower Amansul at Weathertop. Now, I'll not be talking that much about Amansul, but I'll be basing my discussion around the Goat Riders and the Ironhill Dwarves with spears. So online on the various groups today, there has been discussions regarding the prices, and it seems that everywhere I look, that people are outraged. Some are outraged over the sheer price of especially the Goat Riders. They don't mind that much the Ironhill Dwarves, maybe because those models aren't as anticipated as the Goat Riders themselves. But although you could convert shieldless Ironhill Dwarves out of the £40 12-man kit, I would much rather use the new poses and magnetize the shields on, so I can use them for both, in my honest opinion. But okay, so here we go. So let's review the facts first. Now, the Ironhill Goat Riders are £45 for 3. So that's the baseline of it. So that's 3 mounted miniatures, no dismounts, 40mm cav base. They look stunning, but that's beside the point for this portion of the argument. So you have 3 models. It's a quarter warband. You would probably want an army between 6 and 12 of these guys, including captains, if you want to do a mounted contingent. And for one of the scenarios in the There and Back Again book, you would need 24 of these guys to have a legal army for that scenario. And that's one scenario in the entire book you need Goat Riders for, and that's that one. Okay, so this is of course forge gold, and forge gold is a specialist company within a specialist company. We have to bear that in mind for this to work, and that is something I do believe that people take for granted. Now, Games Workshop is a niche business, and forge gold makes specialist models for a niche business. So you do not have the mass production capabilities that Games Workshop has. Remember that plastic models are now made on a computer by a sculptor, very talented sculptor, mind that. They are then printed out. Well, I know how it works. earlier, but not so much how it works now. But they are basically made on a huge block of metal. Like the sprue is inside a 2, 4, 6, maybe 6-part block of metal, cut out, and then they inject the plastic into the huge block of metal, and then the machine rips apart the various pieces. I know, a fun fact though, the success of Middle Earth, way back when Lord of the Rings was released, made it possible for Games Workshop to invest in new plastic production capabilities, making the Bane blade possible, making the ready drilled holes in bolt guns and other weaponry possible because of the new ways the sprues are cut. Before you had 2 parts, and they went just like this, and made the plastic sprues. Now it's several parts, and you can have pins that make holes in bolts and stuff like that. It's absolutely amazing. On the other hand, a forged model is hand cast by a professional. They are placed in vacuum chambers to make sure that the resin is pushed into the crevices that they will need to be in for a perfect cast. I believe Forgel has a very good quality control team that makes sure that the ready product you get home to you is of the quality you would expect from the amount of money you pay for it, as well as Forgel, as well as Games Workshop, has excellent customer service, whereas any problems at all, as long as you have the receipt, they will replace the miniatures, and in some cases let you keep the faulty bits, models, whatever, so that you can use that for conversions or even models. So heaps and loads of possibilities for, well, heaps and loads of possibilities, but not heaps and loads of reasons why £45 for 3 expert cast models is not that bad. On the other hand, let's look at the price for the Riders of Rohan box. Now, this is the very first cavalry plastic kit that came out for Lord of the Rings back in 2002, I believe November 2002, along with the release of the Two Towers movie. Now, this kit is now nearly 15 years old, and it is £18 for 6 models. So £18 for 6 models. If we quantify that, that is £3 a model, whereas the Iron Hills Goat Riders are £15 models. So that's 5 times as much for the Iron Hill Dwarves than the Riders of Rohan. So, first of all, do you need as many Iron Hill Goat Riders as you would Riders of Rohan? I believe you would not. That's the first thing. And the reason the price of the Iron Hill Goat Riders are higher than I personally expected, because I expected them to be £30 for 3, so that's £10 more. Would leave them slightly above £3 times as expensive as a Rider of Rohan in plastic. So I believe that the amount of sales going into the hand-cast Forgel models is not as great as the demand for Riders of Rohan, a kit that has already paid for itself time and time again. So the reason I say that is when you produce a plastic kit, that plastic kit has a very high expenditure task on it from the word go. So you of course need to sculpt the miniature. Back in the day of the Lord of the Rings range, you need to sculpt it 3 times as big as you would need it. Then it would be drawn like onto the metal thing, and then you could start producing it. So it had a very high cost. I think it was like tens of thousands of pounds to just make that mold. Don't quote me on that. I'm just taking this off memory. I haven't written down any facts about the actual cost of producing a plastic sprue, but I believe it's quite high. And after that, you only pay basically the packaging costs and the plastic material needed for that sprue. So, and the machines can work however long you want them to work, and they will continue to produce it. And it's very rare for a plastic mold to be destroyed. So you have a high cost, but eventually that cost will be mitigated by the amount of sales you do, and after that you only heap in a surplus amount of money for the investment you made from it. So with a forge-old model, you of course need to pay the sculptor the amount of money that person is owed in wages for his or her work, and after that you of course need to make that into a master model. The master model needs to go into a mold making procedure, and making the mold, or plural molds in some cases, and then you need to have a staff member, a caster, make hand pour resin. It's been a while since I was on the tour at the forge-old facilities. I believe that was 6-7 years ago now, but that's the way they did it back then. It might have changed. If somebody is in the know and wants to educate me on this, please do. I am always glad to have people educate me on how things are now, because my views might be dated. So every single forge-old model you buy has a high personnel cost into it, so that makes the price naturally higher. That cost again would be higher if you would not expect to sell as many models as you would a rank and file troop, maybe. So this is the reason I believe that Dane Ironfoot, being £40 foot and mounted, is the same price as 12 Iron Hills on foot, because you would need 12 multiples of 12 Ironfoot clan Ironfoot dwarves on foot to make an army, while you only need one Dane. Well, many people will buy Dane just because he's Dane and he's cool, but I do believe that the amount of purchases of the Iron Hills infantry, the 12 pack that is very much higher than Dane. And if you had a look at the top sellers from forge-old for January, that is indeed true. Dane is not on that list, but I believe on 8th place, disregarding systems, that Iron Hills was on 8th place. So that's just cool that Middle-earth is in that place, that it sells a lot of models, but also it proves my point. So that's me basically ranting that you can't compare a pear to an apple. They're both fruits, but one is different than the others. And in this case, the apple might be golden, delicious, and expensive to make, requiring multiple gardeners and stuff like that, while the other is a lab-grown, cheap, if anything, lab-grown is cheap, cheap thing, automatized to make multiples of the same item very quickly. So yeah, that's the Iron Hill Goat Riders, and if we then take the next piece in line, which is the Iron Hill Dwarves with Spears, a 3-pack for £18, and we compare that to the Iron Hills Dwarves kit with 12 models in it for £40. You have a 3.66666 pound per model for the £40 box with 12 in it, and for the 3 model blister with for £18 you have a £6 model. So that's nearly double. It's very comparable because it's the same material, same casting process, but here again comes the point. Do you need as many Iron Hill Dwarves with Spears as you would need the regular guys in the £40 box? You probably won't. Would people already have the normal Iron Hill Dwarves with Spears and shields to convert or just use as dismounts for the Goat Riders? Possibly. And things like that just sticks with me. The amount of models they are expecting to sell, and since it's not an automatized casting process, that makes it a whole lot different in my eyes. But if you look at the price on a bright side, just let's look at Lake Town Militia Spearmen. So we all know Finecast, and we know the drawbacks of Finecast very well. Very well. The quality of Finecast models is, in some opinions, low. I have, after assembling loads of Finecast models these past few months, come to be efficient with how I assemble the models, how I clean them up and stuff like that. I see the drawbacks of it, but I also see some advantages of it, and I also see the inherent problems that Games Workshop had when those models were released in Finecast. Because at the time the product lines didn't sell very well. You had issues with scripts and things from the movie not always be what they were originally thought to be. So that makes everything a bit dangerous for Games to invest in a plastic kit at that time. So we got Finecast Infantry, and Finecast Infantry is very expensive already. So it's £15 for 3 models. So if we compare that to the Iron Hills Dwarves, that's £1 more per model in forge-rolled resin, and a higher quality model with less cleanup, with sharper lines, with more undercuts, much better quality. And I would rather forego that one beer or snack or coffee or something like that for the £3 than having a Finecast miniature over a resin miniature from Forge World. So that's my take on it. But if we have a look at the plastics from Games Workshop at the time of the Lord of the Rings movies, you had £15, so the same price as 3 Finecast miniatures, for 12. And that's of course not at the time of the Lord of the Rings movies. That at this time, way back then, they were cheaper. they were, I believe, £15 for 24. So you got a lot more miniatures, but again, it comes to my original argument about the cost of production and the lower mainstream appeal of the product, so that you can expect to sell that many compared to what you could of a Rohan Warrior back in the time of the Lord of the Rings. And of course, that sprue has already paid for itself multiple times over, and thus it doesn't need a price increase, which I think is a good thing, that we haven't seen a price increase of the plastics since they're reduced to 12 mana box. And that's soon to be 8-9 years since, so it's been a long time. And inflation has happened, and a low pound has happened. That's also something to take into consideration. The Brexit happened, and stuff happened to the pound, which makes games sort of gain less money on their investment from foreign sales, basically. Oh, they'll make the same. Oh, economics, not my strongest suit. Sorry for that. Okay, so moving on. I don't want to make this video too long. It's supposed to be a quick video about these small subjects. So I think I have made an argument for the price. Now let's play the devil's advocate. What do the high price do to the sales? Now, Adam Troke mentioned on the seminar, I do believe, at Ardicon, that they wanted to have as low as price as possible for the Iron Hills Infantry box, the 12-man box for £40. Now, the same amount of models in Finecast would cost £60, and we all agree that quality is much better, indeed. So the gateway into the models is cheaper than Finecast. Not cheaper than Lord of the Rings plastics or even Hobbit plastics, but again, it's a point. And you generally don't need to buy that many of the additional models to make an army. So for instance, a Gold Rider is this amount of points, Dane is this amount of points, and normal Warriors is this amount of points. The Warriors are cheaper in points. So I do not like the generalization that a higher points model would be more expensive than a lower points model, but still it does make an interesting argument that you would not need to sell as many models to make a complete army, or buy as many models to make a complete army with a lower point, higher point model. So that means that they can price up the higher point models so that they make more money per point, per army. And I can see some people being disheartened by the prices, and I am probably going to get a lot of flack for this. I'm ready for whatever flack you want to give me over this, but are we entitled to cheap models from Forge World? They are a company. They need to recoup on their investments. They have made the best possible prices available for us for the core troops for this army, and that means that people are going to buy the army, and then all the extra optional bits. Some may call the Goat Riders mandatory, but it is of course an option to buy them. that makes it less of an entitlement and more of a personal opinion, if you want to buy them or not. Does everyone need to have an Iron Hills army? They are extremely cool, I get that. They are good in the games. They might not work as well as everyone thinks they will work in scenario play, but or tournament scenario play. But I do think they are good for their points. But they have their drawbacks. So I think we are seeing a shiny new model syndrome and a shiny new rule syndrome. Couple that together with instant I want to get this new stuff things, and then when they see the prices, they are outraged by the amount of money they will have to pay for the privilege of playing with those nice models with the nice rules. So I don't think that everyone is entitled to play with expensive models. It is a niche hobby. Not everyone can afford it. Due to it being a niche hobby, Games Workshop can't mass produce everything, and can't make everything as cheap as plastics, as not everything will sell as good, and they will not recoup their investment on the plastics as well. So I think we have to, well, I don't think we have to, but I think I have to, in my opinion, and I do hope I make an interesting argument about the fact that we can play with whatever army we want. If we want to play Hobbit Lord of the Rings, there are multiples of ways to play the game, with cheaper models, other armies, stuff like that. I don't think everyone is entitled to the cheap models they want, rather than that they feel the need for a model and that is incidentally high priced. I also don't believe that Games Workshop / Forge World instantly hikes the price up because they know the models will sell well in our community. So I do not fault them for this, although I wasn't outraged, but I was surprised that they were £45 for 3 models. So I think that is my closing argument. No, I had a closing argument. So we are unaccustomed to Forge World at this point. The idea that Forge World would be producing Middle-earth models has been around for about a year now. It was announced in December 2015 that they were looking for people to start working at the Middle-earth team for the Forge World Studios. And previous to that, the only Lord of the Rings model we had from Forge World was the Ruined Watchtower of Famine Soul, which is now back again. Cheaper than it was originally released, might add. And we had our plastics and metal models during the Lord of the Rings era, which were cheap. Metal models were more expensive, but then again, material costs and spin costs, not mechanically produced. So some of the same arguments can go for resin as for metal. Then we had Hobbit, and we had some plastics and much Finecast molds, and we already discussed the price of Finecast. And we really didn't see the way Forge World prices their product, because it is a niche market within a niche market. So let's just take a look at a few examples. Now I won't go for the atrociously obvious one first, but I will do a sampling. So if we take a look at, let's see, if we take a look at a Space Marine, that's the most popular line of miniature from Forge World, and that's 30k. Yeah, 30k Space Marines. Okay, so you have a squad of some amount of Marines. I'm trying to find it. Sorry about this. It's not making good, very good video. Where are they? Legion. I'm terribly sorry. I'll have to try to cut it out if I remember. Might be over here. Imperial Space Marines. What is it? Terribly sorry about this. Should have prepared. Space Marine. Okay, so for instance, we have 5 models from the Iron Hands Legion MK3 squad. That's £35. That should be about £7.50 per model. £7? £7 per model. So that's £1 more expensive than our model on foot. They are larger, of course, but still, it's more expensive. And this is kind of the price that 30k players and 40k players expect from their models. Now, we don't expect those kinds of prices really, because we play Hobbit, and we haven't been accustomed to these kinds of products and prices before. So I think that the prices for the Hobbit range from Forge World is in line with the prices and products that they produce for the rest of the Forge World lines. So it's not more expensive than other Forge World products. So let's give that obvious rumor away, because people have been saying that, well, Lord of the Rings models are more expensive from Forge World than others because they don't expect them to sell as well. I don't believe that is true at all. Not at all. But what I wanted to talk about closing is the Primarchs. So Forge World has, as with Middle-earth, a character series for the Horus Heresy. And that character series has pivotal characters from the Horus Heresy theme and books. So you have the Primarchs and you have the special characters. So, for instance, these are all on nice display type bases made cast in resin. The Primarchs, for those not knowing, that is the forefather of the Space Marine Legion they are leading. So their genetic code is made to well, not made, but their genetic code is used to make more Space Marines in their image, but not as powerful. So each Primarch is one model, and they range from 60 to 70 pounds a piece. And this is a tall model. This is like, if Dane Ironfoot is the size of this orc, then the Primarch is this big. Okay, so it is a tall model, and that is with or without the scenic base, depending on the style of the model and the size of the scenic base. Okay, and they have non-Primarch models that is ranging from 35 to 50 pounds a piece. Also depending on the sculpt, the amount of resin, and the character's importance, I guess, and the size of the display base. Okay, so basically you are paying £70 for a tall Space Marine. Now, some people might find this very exciting, and I'll be one of the first persons to order Rogal Dawn when he arrives, because I'm an Imperial Fist player, and I already have a couple of the Horus Heresy Character Series models from the Imperial Fist line, because I like that Legion, and I've been playing that since I was about 12. But the thing I wanted to talk to you about was the Space Wolves have the Leman-Russ Primarch, which is a Space Viking. I don't call them Viking, they talk funny and they're not Viking at all, in my opinion, as the Norwegian Viking. And he has two wolves, Freka and Geri. So he's like Odin, and they are his two helpers. So they're also £70 for two models, and they are big wolves. So we are talking £140 for three models. They look really nice, and they're expertly sculpted and expertly cast and everything. They have nice detail. But would I rather have those three models just for the sheer gaming and painting quality of it, or would I have 9 Goat Riders and £5 in change? Personally, I would have 9 Goat Riders and £5 in change. That's my closing statement. But it doesn't matter really what I think. What matters is that we keep this discussion going. So tell me in the comments, am I right in basically justifying the Forge World prices? Do you think I'm mad? Do you think I have a nice beard? Whatever you want to tell me, just tell me in the comments. Please be respectful to me and to others. I do like opinions, but please no rude comments at all. That is not how we are as a community. Something I think is interesting, because the 40k and 30k community is very rude to each other, and we are most of the time not. So let's keep that going, let's keep the discussion going. If this is a marginal success, I will keep this going and bring up your previous points in the next video, and then I'll make a new topic for next week if this is successful. So thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, share and subscribe. Click on our link below to check out our Patreon page, where you can get cool perks by supporting us for X amount of money each month. And as always guys, support your hobby.